Hello and welcome to another video. In today's video, we had a look at our long-term weather forecast and we see that there's meant to be above average chance of getting some snow this year. So today we have two tractors in the workshop and we're going to be doing our snow preparation. So our snow fleet for this year will be, as usual, the Bolens HT20, which will have our replica Bolens HT hydraulic tilt snow blade on the front, and we'll put our tyre chains on the back, and we've already got the wheel weights on there still from last year. We like to keep them on year round now, and it's first time on snow duty. It is the 1970 Bolens 1253, which we will be putting the Bolens tube frame snowcaster on the front of, so that'll be the first time we've ever used a snowcaster. And we don't have tyre chains for this one, but we will be putting some wheel weights on the back end and hoping for the best. We took the 1253 out of the workshop to give ourselves a bit more space, so we've got the HT20 kind of positioned centrally here. And you may notice that it's actually off the ground at the moment. We have already put it on axle stands, and that is because before we do the snow chains, which will be our first job, we got a brush and kind of a screwdriver to chip some of the grass and mud that was all kind of interlaced in the tread out. And this is all of the grass and muck and stuff that we've got out. Now, the main reason for doing that was because I think the last time we used this tractor must have been grass collecting on a bit of a wet day, so it had all kind of just stuck to the tyres and we effectively had no tread on there. So we wanted to get all of that muck out to give ourselves some grip on these tyres before we put on the chains. But now that we've cleaned up both of those, we are ready to do the chains, and we've done this on a number of occasions on video. First job with these is obviously to untangle them, but then after that, our usual process is we kind of sit them on the front of the tyre, twist it round to feed the tyre chains all the way around, then let a bit of air out of the tyres, connect them up, and we usually like to leave 4 spare links. That's kind of the tightness we work with, and then we put the air back in, and that is one side done. Now, we've done that process a number of times in some of our previous winter preparation videos, so we're going to somewhat skip over that step today, and we will come back to you once we've got the chains on both of the rear wheels of the HT20. We have the chains on now, and just a couple of things to note is the fact that we always put these on with these parts pointing outwards away from the tyre, because you don't want them poking into the rubber. And also the spare links we always cable tie up, so that especially on the insides of both tyres, they're not flying around and hitting any part of the tractor on the inside there. And there seems to always be one that's tighter than the other, and so this time that was that side, but we usually have one that takes less time than the other. Not sure why, but it just seems to be how it is with these tyre chains. But the next thing to do is put the blade on, so we will go and fetch that and we'll be with you in just a second. We've brought the blade through now, and as you might be able to tell by the back of it, it's been raining because there's quite a bit of water on there now, but we braved the rain to lift this through here, and it's here now. And this is another thing that we've kind of covered in quite a few winter preparation videos in the past, so we're going to kind of again go over the main things you need to do to put this on, and then kind of cut, go away and put it on. So the first thing you connect up is this is kind of the pivot point. Obviously you need to lift this up so that the snow plough part goes in between these two brackets on the tractor, then slip the pin through, and as I said, that acts as a pivot. Now to actually lift it up and down, you have the push rods here, which then connect to the actual hydraulics of the tractor, which is that. So then effectively that moves backwards and forwards, pushes the rod backwards and forwards, and then pivots the blade frame here, lifting it up and down. Then there's only really one more thing to connect up, which are the hydraulic lines for the tilt cylinder, and they connect to the auxiliary hydraulic points on the front of the tractor. And you pretty much do that in that order, with the pivot first, then the hydraulic lift point, and then the hydraulics at the front. Then after that it is pretty much all set up. The blade is all connected up now. We have oiled all of the pins, so hopefully that will mean they're a bit less fast wearing, and we've greased up the grease point, so that's all of the kind of lubrication things for the blade done. We also polished up all of the front of the blade, and we even put some detailing spray on this year, which is something we haven't done in previous years. And the aim of that is so that the snow, if we get any, will just kind of roll off the side and not stick to the blade. But now this is pretty much fully set up, so I'll just fire it up, kind of just move the ram both ways so you can see the tilt, and then I will move this to one side so we can bring the 1253 in and start setting up the snowcaster on that. Inside out of the rain, which is giving it a good clean, but we also have in here the snowcaster out of storage, as you can see there. So what we will do now is just kind of clean the worst of the water off this, check the front tire pressures, because obviously they're going to have the full weight of the snowcaster on them, and then just check any other grease points relating to the attachment stuff, and then get ready to attach the snowcaster to the front of the 1253. We've got the 1253 and the snowcaster roughly almost lined up now. Now the technique to this is kind of doing the PTO first. So you've got this drive shaft on here, actually on the snowcaster, and we've taken the pin out of the hole on that. And there's a hole on the PTO of the tractor, and that's kind of how this locks onto there. So we've taken the pin out, which is the first step. Effectively what I'll need to do is line this up with the PTO on here and slowly roll the tractor forward, which I will try to do now, while also lining up the pin and the hole on the UJ. There we go, that I think is there. Now I will need to lift this up a bit to actually get the pinholes lined up, and I'll probably need my cameraman's assistance for that, so we will cut here just so that we can get those pins in, and then come back to you once we've connected that up. We have the PTO fully connected up with the pin in the UJ, and we also lined up the pins on the front, put those pins in, so everything at the front there is connected up. The final thing to do is just to connect it all to the attachment lift lever on the tractor, and so I'll just take these off, put that on there, washer, and put the R-clip back in like so, and now we should be able to lift up the snowcaster, which is a very heavy attachment, but that's all fully connected up now. And the next thing to move on to for the 1253 will just be putting some wheel weights on the back. Now, for the wheel weights on the back of the 1253, we're not actually going to use tube frame wheel weights. We're going to use a set of these Ridermatic wheel weights, which I believe these are about £50. And then we're also going to use these, which I'm not fully sure what they're of. They're not anything we really know about. Bolts we use are these. They've got a flat head and then a square bit on the inside of the head, as you can see there, which locks into the square holes in the rims. So effectively we have lock nuts on these, and just to demonstrate how these work, they are slightly hard to line up sometimes, but there we go. They go like that through the wheel, and then they will go through the holes on these. How we do this with two sets of wheel weights is we put these ones in first as a kind of inside pair of wheel weights like that. Obviously I need to put the other bolt in on the other side, then put the Ridermatic ones on top of that to give us a lot more weight on each wheel, and hopefully that will counter the snowcaster. So we will put all of those on, kind of line everything up, which can be a bit of a pig with these wheel weights sometimes, but we will get back to you once we've done that. We have the wheel weights fitted to both sides now, and for those who are unfamiliar with these tractors, the differential lock is on this side wheel, actually on the hub in there, and the proper tube frame wheel weights have like kind of cutouts so you can get your hand in and turn it, specifically for that reason. But of course these are Ridermatic ones, so they don't have that. And since we've been using these for a long time, we made up this tool, which is effectively a bit of pipe with a couple of cutout bits to engage with the diff lock adjustment thing in there. So if I can actually line this up properly, you'll see, there we are. And twisting it this way engages the differential lock. Originally it was disengaged, and we can just tighten that up, engage the diff lock, and that'll help us in the snow, hopefully. So that's that tool there. Now, what we will do, rightly or wrongly, and I'm not sure how well this will work because there isn't very much paint on our snowcaster, is use some silicone spray and hope that this has a similar effect as polishing did or does to the snow plough, which is kind of make the snow roll off it a bit more. And we kind of get as much of that on the auger as possible and try and breathe in the little amount as possible. Now with 2 cans of silicone spray on that snowcaster now, hopefully that will give it the best chance possible of kind of the snow rolling off it and it throwing it a bit easier. And hopefully we do get to try that out, because I'm sure that'll be a lot of fun. But our snow fleet is now complete for this year with these 2 tractors, and all we can hope for now is some snow so that we get to use them. But that is it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.